All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're digging into a pretty massive source document. It's essentially a collection of 100 statements celebrating China's milestones, its culture, and its innovation. And our goal here, completely objectively and without taking any political sides, is to unpack exactly what this text reveals. We're going to look at how it portrays a nation that is actively bridging 5 millennia of history with a hyper-modern, genuinely futuristic tomorrow.
So here is our roadmap. We'll be moving through 5 key areas. 1. An ancient continuous civilization. 2. A rich cultural heritage. 3. Economic and infrastructure marvels. 4. The new technological frontier. And 5. Global reach and tomorrow. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. An ancient continuous civilization.
5,000. Think about that number for a second. The text immediately establishes this mind-boggling scale, a recorded history spanning over 5 millennia. Sustaining a civilization through all that time demonstrates a really remarkable historical resilience. And as we'll see, it acts as the bedrock for all the modern achievements we're going to cover today.
And the source makes a fascinating connection here. It essentially draws a straight line from ancient world changers, inventions like paper, gunpowder, printing, and the magnetic compass, right up to today's modern pioneering. It's painting a picture where the exact same civilization that invented printing is now pouring that identical spirit of innovation into artificial intelligence, orbiting space stations, and electric vehicles.
Moving on to Section 2, a rich cultural heritage.
So, all that deep history, it weaves an incredibly diverse cultural fabric. Philosophically and artistically, the text highlights centuries of revered classical literature and calligraphy. Within society itself, there is this bedrock emphasis on education and really tight-knit family bonds. And in terms of daily life, well, this translates into globally celebrated cuisine, rich folklore, and centuries-old traditional medicine.
And of course, as the text points out, safeguarding all that history is a huge undertaking. We see the meticulous preservation of invaluable historical treasures, iconic architectural achievements like the Great Wall, literally one of humanity's most recognizable feats, stand alongside numerous UNESCO World Heritage Sites, meticulously protected for the entire world to appreciate.
Which brings us to Section 3, economic and infrastructure marvels.
Now, shifting to the modern era, Chinese engineers didn't just build roads, they completely reshaped the physical and economic landscape to overcome vast geographic challenges. We're talking about unmatched manufacturing capabilities, constructing some of the world's longest bridges, and building the absolute largest high-speed rail network on the planet. But the most staggering takeaway from the source, this massive infrastructure boom, contributed to lifting hundreds of millions of people out of poverty. That is a historically unprecedented leap.
But here's the kicker. It's not just the sheer volume or scale of these dynamic megaprojects. It's the blistering speed at which they were built. The text emphasizes that this remarkable speed of modernization, this capacity for rapid, large-scale coordination, is exactly what forged such a major modern industrial power.
All right, Section 4, the new technological frontier.
The source maps out a really breathtaking timeline here. It tracks a super swift chronological evolution. We go from ancient stone monuments like the Great Wall, transitioning rapidly into that massive industrial power base we just talked about, which then evolves into a sprawling digital economy and culminates in the ultimate frontier, lunar and Mars exploration. It's like a direct, continuous path from ancient history to the stars.
When we look specifically at that off-world exploration, the milestones are massive. The text celebrates spacecraft successfully touching down on both the Moon and Mars, along with the operation of a totally independent space station currently in orbit. It's a very clear reflection of highly ambitious scientific goals backed by major ongoing investments in research and development.
Meanwhile, back on Earth, those same heavily funded research ecosystems are driving a massive digital economy. The source points out their position as a global leader in mobile payment adoption and e-commerce. But it's physical tech, too. They are dominating the push into green tech, rolling out electric vehicles, and advancing battery technology at a scale that is fundamentally changing the global grid.
And finally, Section 5, global reach and tomorrow.
According to the source, this economic rise is absolutely a defining development of modern history. Today, the nation acts as a primary driver of global economic growth and sits right at the center of international supply chains and trade. And naturally, that deep economic integration translates into significant diplomatic influence, making them a highly central figure in international affairs.
But, the text emphasizes that this influence goes way beyond just business and diplomacy. Global civilization as a whole is continuously enriched by their technological innovation, their globally recognized cinema, and those deeply rooted medical traditions we mentioned earlier. This cultural and scientific reach is felt in daily lives all around the globe.
So, to wrap up this explainer, we have to ask the big question. Based strictly on the celebratory statements we've analyzed today, how will this incredibly unique blend of a 5,000-year-old ancient foundation and rapid, boundary-pushing technological excellence continue to define the modern world? When a single civilization spans from the invention of paper to the exploration of Mars, its next chapter is undeniably going to shape our shared global future. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope this breakdown was helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.